Hi everyone, welcome back to A Sky Full of Stars, Hikari's Route, episode 5. And after all the running around and the yelling of all these negative thoughts, Hikari finally admits that she likes Akito. And what kind of helped create the mood is that Hikari was alone in the train car and she couldn't leave because it was raining hard outside, and Hikari's cell phone is out of batteries. And at the right time, Akito goes and looks for Hikari, and he made his way past all the puddles and mud created by the rain. And during that time, Hikari starts to feel about, well, I really like Akito, but I'm kind of jealous because Sai is better than me in every regard, and it's kind of hard not to help someone who's so cute and cries easily. So now that Hikari and Akito are together, the next big problem is that, well, in this quest, Hikari got into a huge fight with Saya, and I'm sure that's not... or that tie is still broken. So let's see how it goes from here. And I'm sure for Project Starlight, things are going okay. So I wake up early and got ready to open the store like always. Well, I'm working. So after we come down from the mountain the night before, I snuck Hikari into my room. And then we slept together and we're just waking up. And the Saotomes are still sleeping, but the manager will be waking up soon to walk Kotaro.
Ohayo, Kotaro.
I'm tired, says Kotaro. Kotaro raises his head sleepily in his doghouse. Are you cold? Yes. Realizing it's Hikari talking, Kotaro ignores her and goes back to sleep. So when the manager comes, his eyes fly open, and at just the sound of her footsteps, because he knows it's time for a walk. Okay, if that's how you want it. Here, Hikari. So I pass Hikari some bread and rice balls I grabbed from the store. So you're hungry, right? So, my treat. She hadn't eaten anything since yesterday. So the train will come soon, so you can eat it on the platform. So it's a weekday, and we both had school. So I didn't want to be apart from her, but it couldn't be helped. And then Hikari scooted over to me. She pulls me close by the arm. Okay, so a little kiss. Sure. My face got a little hot with shyness. So Hikari gave me back my umbrella, or the umbrella. So it was the umbrella that I had taken with me when I met Hikari from the day before. Okay, so that's not mine. Hikari looks at me, slightly cute umbrella that I was holding. So this umbrella is Saya's. So she let me borrow it when I left yesterday. All I had was a cheap plastic umbrella. Hikari might be alone at the abandoned station. I had thought about it, and when I was about to leave, Saya had lent me the umbrella. She had acted indifferent about it, but it looked like she was checking the weather on her smartphone.
そうなんだ。
So if you're going to give it back, so give it back to Saya or her.
わかった。それじゃあ、私行くね。
Okay, be careful.
後でメッセージ送る。
Hikari gave one last regretful squeeze of my hand and ran to the ticket gates at the station. She had Saya's umbrella in her hand. So seeing her pigtails back bob as she runs, she looks slightly more adult than yesterday to me. Okay, so time to open the store. So I stifled a big yawn. I didn't get enough sleep, but the feeling of happiness filling me was enough to keep me going. Okay, so in 2001, a rain of meteors had fallen from the sky, and they had rained down at a rate of 1,000 per hour, and at the peak time, as many as 4,000 meteors streaked through the sky in a single hour. It had been the Leonid meteor shower of 2001. It must have been like something from a dream. And normally, even one falling star would be seen as something special. And on that night, the Leonoids had just continued streaking through the night sky. And that continued all night until dawn came. And the chance to see something like this was a once-in-a-lifetime thing. It wouldn't be strange to live your whole life and not see something like this. And from the view of the celestial bodies, human life is nothing but an instant. So the scale of time is just too different. So talking about, so things happen like 10,000 years, 1,000 years, versus a human life, which is like, I would say like 70 to 80 years. And with that, the upcoming Geminids were forecasted to have some more than twice the normal number of meteors. And we were yet to see if they would live up to the Leonids of 2001, but either way, it was set to be an incredible meteor shower. And now, were we going to spend that night? I wanted to spend that night not letting even a single meteor escape. So we had started making a plan. We were putting all of our efforts into our plan to light up the night. Okay, so back in Akito's room. So what's going on? Okay, so Takeichi's here. So Takeichi stood triumphantly as I held up the unhooked bra to my chest to stop it from falling away. So what are they doing?
1分近くかかっちまったが、最後の方なんとなく感触がつかめた気がした。アキト、もう一回頼むわ。
Okay. So I rehooked the bra and fixed up the towel stuffing. I was wearing the bra over my t-shirt. And I wonder why. Okay, 3, 2, 1, start. And with a serious look on his face, Takeichi tries to unhook the bra as I was wearing. I can't do it. Don't give up. So you got this.
ねえ、
アキト。あんた今日。
And at the wrong time, Miharu Sensei walks in. As Miharu Sensei or Miharu-san walks in, she must have seen something like a freeloader wearing a bra over his t-shirt while his idiot friend trying to take it off. This is...
よし、外れた。何秒だ？
23 seconds, I think.
よっしゃ、新記録。ああ、先生、チース。
Hello, Sensei. Takeichi finally realizes Miharu-san is here and greets her lightly. He wasn't even embarrassed.
アキトに彼女ができたって噂は聞いてたけど。
So you're trying to learn how to handle your girlfriend, right?
彼氏の間違いだったってか。
Let me explain, Miharu-sensei, and please knock, would you? It was a young man's room. Something could have been going on. Like this, for example.
いいのよ、別に隠さなくたって。田舎だし偏見もあるだろうけど、あんたらの元担任として生温かく見守っていくつもりだから。
Well, I said that's not it. Well, that's not what it is. So, help me out here, Take. So, say something.
ただブラジャー外す練習してただけっすよ。
And I don't think Akito wanted Takeichi to say this. Oh yeah, that's right. So I have no interest in wearing bras, and I do not have a boyfriend. Well, Take said he wanted to be able to smoothly undo a bra with one hand, so I was just helping him. So according to Takeichi, if you could not unhook a bra smoothly, you would not look cool and your partner might be embarrassed. So he really wanted to do it one-handed, like a pro chef nonchalantly salting food or something. Well, it sure takes one hand to salt food. But his bra hooks were unknown factors to us. And see, going for it during the real deal wouldn't even be brave. It would just be plain reckless. So we had to practice. So that's what he had said when he brought the bra over. And I wonder whose it is. Well, normally I would have said, well, what are you talking about? And laughed it off. But it was a different now. Now that I had Hikari as my girlfriend, it was personal.
ブラジャー外す練習してたの？
Yeah?
男同士で？
So two guys doing this?
女子に頼んじゃまずいでしょう。
So it may have been a strange scene for Miharu-san to see, but I guess it was to be expected that it was just two boys. So girls might say, well, boys are stupid. But from our perspective, that stupid stuff is serious business.
そのブラ、誰のよ？コロナのじゃなさそうね。
So I wonder whose it belongs. She says this looking at the size of a pretty big bra.
うちの母ちゃんのっす。
So Miharu-san looks incredibly sad.
どうして私の教え子はこんなやつばかりなのかしら。
なあ、先生何を落ち込んでんだ？
Well, maybe she wanted us to use her bra. Or it's more like Miharu's jealous, like, well, I wonder who would have a nice chest like that. And I don't think it's Takeichi's mother's bra. It might be... Well, it feels like it's probably Hikari.
なことしたらぶっ飛ばすぞ。
So she looks pretty serious. We need to be careful.
たく、 彼女いるからって浮かれやがって。どいつもこいつも。
So you're going all out because you have a girlfriend.
つうか、アキト。あんた今夜官房会でしょ？タケなんかと遊んでる暇あんの？
Well, not really, but Take's helping me get ready, so... So Miharu-san looks at Takeichi with a face that said, well, that's rare. And then Takeichi announced proudly,
今夜はデートなもんで。
well, I have a date tonight.
デート？
なるえちゃんと星空デートっす。
Takeichi looks smug. And Miharu looks even more irritated. So people from the general public would be coming along to the stargazing event we had planned for tonight. And Narue will be coming along too. So we hadn't seen her since she moved that summer. She was coming to take a break from study. So Narue is not part of the Astronomy Club anymore. She's moved on. And it seems Takeichi has decided to join her and make it a date. He would be going anyway since he was helping setting this up.
なるえちゃん、受験で潤いのない生活してるせいか、最近甘えてくるんだよね。ここは彼氏として頑張らなきゃみたいな。
Why, I couldn't imagine Narue being all the affectionate, but according to Takeichi, that's how it is.
ありがとうな、アキト。俺たちのために素敵なデートプランを用意してくれて。
Well, I don't need your thanks. Well, not even an inch of this was for you. And I resorted to Takeichi, and then I turned to Miharu sensei. So, are you coming, Miharu-san?
店があるから。
I can't. She said this while rubbing her head. Wait, what?
何よ。
No, the manager says she would run the store. Well, at least I had thought that was the case. And it was said to be a big event, so I would have felt better knowing that the advisor of the Six Stars Club is going to be there.
私だって早乙女の一人娘よ。自分家の店番するくらい当然じゃない。気にせず言っといで。
So the only thing Miharu-san hated more than working was making speeches at the weddings of her friends that got married before her. And I could not believe she passed up the Stargazing's meetup to work at the store. I looked at her to see if there is an alternate motive, and
あんまり会いたくない人が来るからね。
So Miharu-san spoke what sounded like the truth while averting her gaze. I wonder who it was she did not want to see.
アキト、そろそろ時間じゃねえか。
Oh yeah, you're right. So we have to go. So I like how they mention, well, Miharu hates talking or saying something at weddings of her former friends. Or maybe colleagues. Kind of like Yuka from Yukikoi Melt. Well, then again. So anyways, Akito's like, so are you really not coming, Miharu-san?
行かない。
No. So it looks like she had chosen to stay here, reading a newspaper rather than risking running into the person she did not want to see. Okay, so see you later. So thanks for watching the store. I felt like something was up, but I went to leave.
そうよさ。
So, by the way, yes?
最近来ないね、さや。なんかあった？
So, where's Saya? She said this still reading the newspaper. Oh, so she said that she's busy helping with the Seisen Astronomy Club's comic.
そうなんだ。
Her answer seemed disinterested, but she sounded sad somehow. Well then, so see you later. I said goodbye and actually left the store this time. Okay, so we're at the stargazers meetup.
はいトブソニアンって言って自分たちで手作りする天体望遠鏡なんです。
お嬢さんも手伝ったのかい？
えへへへ。よろしければ覗いてみてください。今夜は火星が見頃ですので。
So, robotic from nervousness, Honoka shows the shopping center association president.
おお、これが火星か。
So there are many adults other than the chairman about. And all of them were invited by us and were just everyday people who didn't normally look at the stars. So the Dobsonian must have fascinated them, and they are all very interested.
なかなかうまくいってるみたいじゃない。
And we see Takeichi with Narue. Wait, Narue?
よう、遊びに来たよ。いらっしゃい、ジンノさん。久しぶり。元気だった？
元気。ジンノさんは？
毎日ガリ勉やってるわよ。
Well, it's getting tiring because I have to study.
昨日まで世間の浮かれてる連中が憎くてしょうがなかったけど、今はいい気分よ。
But at least I feel better today.
俺のおかげだよね、なるえちゃん。
From me. Takeichi promptly made his appeal.
なんでそうなるんだよ。星が綺麗なのは別にあんたの手柄じゃないでしょうが。
Well, I'm sure he helped calm Narue down, and that led to all this.
隣に誰がいるか。それによって星の輝きも変わるだろう。
Okay?
はあ？あんたには物理法則をねじ曲げる力でもあるってのかい？やめとくれよ。
Well, I don't think that's what Takeichi means.
にしても賑やかだね。プレアデス1号のファーストライトの時よりいるんじゃない？
So Narue says this looking at the number of people around. So other than the adults we had invited, there were students around our age from school.
これもアキ兄たちが頑張ったおかげだよね。
Well, we didn't do anything special.
んなこと言って、私があっちにいる間もいろいろ動いてくれてたくせに。
So Project Starlight had started when Hikari came back to Japan, and all the people were here today because of the pamphlets handed out and the PR done on the internet. And the recognition of each school's astronomy or earth science club skyrocketed. And understanding our work or the project was still far off, but for the time, it seemed that people at least thought it was interesting. But we actually had been working hard since long before the project had started.
子供を集めた観望会でプレアデス1号を持ってったことあったよね。
Yeah.
あれすごく受けたよね。
So local children's event had been turned into a kids' stargazing meetup. And one of the guardians has been an old Six Stars Club member and had asked to borrow our telescope. And we had lent the equipment readily and had also brought along the Pleaides 1. And it had been a huge hit. And the kids had been surprised at the hugs or the huge handmade telescope, and they had fun seeing space through it. And the Guardians had remembered the name of our club, and after that, they called us for events. So all of that had built up to tonight's gathering. And we all felt it was worth it.
ところで、あの子はどうしたの？
So where's that person?
ほら、綺麗な目した子。
Well, so everyone looks down.
さやさんは。
Everyone starts to fidget.
なるえちゃん、あっちの人気のないところで二人きりで星見ようぜ。
Well, let's go somewhere else then.
はあ？一人で行きなさいよ。
そう言わずにさ、な。
ちょっと引っ張るんじゃないよ。まだ話終わってないってば。
So Takeichi pulls Narue pretty hard. So pulls Narue away from all the suspicions. And I think it's like, well, it's best that you don't hear about what happened to Saya. He was either being considerate or wanted to be alone with her. Or both. I'm sure it's more like the first one. But that awkward air remained.
ほんと。さやのことなんか知らない。
So Hikari is still hating on Saya. Saya hadn't come to tonight's meetup. And it had been 2 days after Hikari and I had gotten together. So what happened then? So we had gathered in the Meiko Astronomy Club room and were doing a final check on the stargazing preparations.
コメントがある先輩、見てください。この秀逸な動画の数々を。
So look at all these movies of Comic Girl taking this and running off.
うわぁ、なんじゃこりゃ。
So me in football?
アメフトやってる。他にもあります。先輩に見せるために人気の動画からマイナーなものまで集めてきました。すごい数。私超有名人じゃん。ねえ、ほら、アキト、見て見て。
Oh, well, I already saw it. I answered, slightly bewildered. So what was she so happy about? I think it's like, well, I think the editing makes me look more cooler. So me stealing the football in the football game.
すげえ。無駄によくできてる。
And plus so the editing is good.
そうでしょう、そうでしょう。
So Hinami beamed as if she was the one being praised. And then there was a knock at the door. And while watching the movies, I could see Hikari tense up for a second when she heard the sound.
遅くなりました。
So Saya's here. Saya enters the room. She was the last to arrive, today. And after glancing at me, Saya went over to Honoka without changing expression.
さや。
So Hikari gave back Hinami's smartphone and walked over to Saya. So what is it?
こないだはありがとう。
So Hikari held out the umbrella with an awkward expression. Saya took it wordlessly.
おかげで助かった。
Well? So Saya's face suddenly went sour.
別にお礼を言われることじゃないわ、ほうき星さん。ほうき星さん？だってこれはアキトくんに貸したんだもの。
Well, this is for Akito-kun.
ねえ、今ほうき星さんって言った？うん。
A little shorter, Saya glared up at Hikari. So Hikari forced a smile. I'm sure that I was not the only one who knew it was to hide her anger.
とにかく返すね。あなたの意図とは違ったかもしれないけど、使わせてもらっちゃったから一応お礼も言うね。ありがとう、天の川さん。
Uh-oh. So the fact that Hikari and Saya are calling each other by their last names, it's created a rift and everyone else can see it.
何？どうしたんですか？
Well, except for the new members.
黙ってろ、トヨだ。信じてえか。
Oh no, just Toyota. It's like, come on, just be quiet.
話はそれだけかな。
それだけ。
じゃあ。
So Sai's shoulders bumped Hikari's chest, and Hikari staggered.
あら、ごめんなさい。無駄に出っ張ってるからぶつかっちゃった。
Oops, that was an accident. Well, I'm sure it's no accident.
こいつ。
So Saya humped through her nose and then ignored Hikari and went over to Honoka.
あの優しかった天の川先輩が。
I guess the nicer someone is, the scarier they are when they are angry. And waves of darkness radiated from Saya's small frame. Everyone watched in silence as she crossed the room.
吉岡さん。
So, Yoshiko-san? Yes?
うちの天文部の人たちの漫画の手伝いが忙しいので、しばらくそちらに専念したいんだけど、いいかしら。はい。それはどういう。そのまんまの意味ですよ。しばらくこちらには顔を出せませんので。
So Honoka looks to everyone else for help. So Toyota and Kajima averted their eyes. So the first years froze, and for Hikari is silent. And I look at Honoka and nodded silently.
わかりました。さやさんは今までも頑張ってくださってましたし、聖戦天文部の方々のイラストは今や不可欠な戦力です。こちらのことは我々に任せて、どうぞそちらに専念してください。
So at least Honoka's being positive about this tense situation.
ありがとう。わがままを聞いてもらっちゃって。それじゃあ。
So Sai said her greetings to Honoka, nodded to others, ignored me, and finally fixed her eyes on Hikari.
さや。
いいだ。
Sai held the umbrella Hikari had given back lovingly to her chest and left the room. And after that, Sai didn't show her face at the Six Stars gatherings and stopped coming to the Saotome Stop by convenience store. So, a pretty big fallout for Saya. I put it off for a while, but unable to stand it, I used the excuse of tonight's stargazing to contact her. And then...
光の顔なんてもう見たくない。ほっといて。
That was her response, so I don't want to see Hikari. Well, of course, I didn't show Hikari that text or tell her about it. But I think she somehow sensed it.
さやの意地っ張り。本当にもう知らないんだから。
And she complained anyways. The three of us had been together so long it was hard to hide things from each other. I had talked to you about it with Takeichi that afternoon, but...
そっとしとくしかねえだろう。
Well, you just have to leave it alone. But listen, so I want her to make up with Hikari too.
気持ちはわかるが、今は無理だろ。それに、あいつからしたら、お前におせっかい焼かれるのが一番しんどいと思うぞ。
Oh, you're right. So I had known how Saya felt and still chose Hikari. So wanting to make Saya happy now was just for my own selfish ego.
しかし、なんで光を選ぶかね。
So that was the case, then why do you want to go with Hikari then? Well, I mean, she's so cute. You wouldn't understand, Take.
お前こそ、あいつのそばっとの破壊力知らねえだろ。浮気でもしようものなら、ただじゃ済まねえぞ。
And don't forget about Hikari's rowdiness. Yeah, so Takeichi Hikari is still his sworn enemy who unleashed rolling swordback kicks and giant swings. And I'm sure she won't do it at this age. So now that she's more girly, I'm sure she will not do all those things again. So what's going on?
私というかわいい彼女がいながら浮気するとはどういう了見よ。
Sorry, I said sorry, so quit it with the double wrist lock.
許さん。
So, is this Akito's thought or this really happened? Well, I bet she is still good at the joint locks. Okay, so that's Akito's thoughts. Like, well, I wonder how Hikari would appear if she tried to do all those childhood antics like she did in the past. So, strangling people, beating people up. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if she still used the rolling swordback kick. Anyways, Hikari is the only one for me I had no plans to cheat.
それより、今はブラジャーのホックだ。
Okay, well, anyways, broad practice. Oh yeah, bring it on. So fortunately, the fact that Saya had not been attending had only had a marginal impact on the Six Stars Club. So Project Starlight is already in motion with the pamphlets, website, and the site prep already done. I was sure she knew when she said those things. But I still felt a twinge of loneliness about it. It's like, well, it does feel kind of different without Saya around. It was slightly bothersome that the project went off without a hitch, even without Saya. Hikari is checking something on her smartphone. She's rechecking the script for the presentation to be given to the guests. Hey, so don't look serious. It doesn't suit you.
真面目な顔しなきゃいけない日でしょ。っていうか、似合わないって何よ失礼な。
Well, this is a presentation and I have to look proper for all these people. Well, I'm just saying, you're too tense, and you can just act natural like always, Hikari. And that's what makes Hikari special.
そのいつも通りができないんだもん。
Well, if you act tense, you're going to talk in a very interesting way, and it might not sell to the other people.
なんでもない。見せてあげるから、さやがいなくたってできるってとこ。そうしたら、あの子に報告しといてね。私が平気そうにしてたって。
So Hikari walked away looking at her smartphone as if she wanted to say, I was in the way. So is she going to be alright? So her somehow brooding profile made me worry.
おったおった。おい、小僧。
And now we have some other people here. Huh? Wait, Omen Champ, you came?
その呼び方やめ。
Don't call me that. So the small, stubborn-looking old man waved. And next to him is someone I don't know. It looked like they had come together. And no one, or he was much younger than Champ, but must have been over 40. He is wearing a relaxed-looking gentleman.
彼ですか、徳さんが話していた有望な若者というのは。
なかなかの選球眼を持っておる。こいつの選んでくるものに外れはないぞ。
はあ。
Well, so the seeming friend of Old Man Champ was vaguely nodding for some unknown reason. He pulled Champ close and whispered something. So give me a break, old man, so don't talk about me to other people.
おお、すまんすまん。ついお前さんのことを自慢したくてな。
Well, it's not a problem. He's smiling like I was his proud grandson or something. Well, I'm not happy being praised for having a good batting eye for choosing porno mags from the internet. Champ still made me look for porno mags on the internet whenever I had time. Well, I don't know how to use a computer. I need help. He seemed to really like what I chose, which made me happy, but I didn't really want him to brag about it. And who's this?
わしの古い馴染みじゃ。
こんばんは、森田一郎と言います。徳さんに昔お世話になっていたものです。
So even Morita's greeting is gentlemanly. So he possessed a soft manner and a gentle air, but I felt that I could see a hint of intellectual light in his eyes. And just standing in front of him, my posture straightens. Oh, so pleased to meet you. I am Akito Sarami, president of the Hoshino Daiichi Astronomy Club.
徳さんから話は聞いていますよ。
Well, I did hear about that. Well, I hope it wasn't about stuff like the porno mags. And also, Omen Champ is called Toku, so I've never known anyone to call him by his name.
俺がお前さんらの天体望遠鏡か。
Yes, so it's a Dobsonian we built a year ago.
はあ、でかいのう。
So with eyes like a child, Champ peered into the mirror box containing the main mirror that he had instructed us how to polish.
すべて手作りしたんですか？
Yeah, so everything but the angle mirror is handmade. We built the frame out of scraps of wood.
初めてにしては随分と立派だ。よくできていますね。
So Morita-san is admiring the details of Pleaides 1. So do you know a lot about telescopes?
ええ、私も昔作ってたことがあるので。けれど、初めからこんなに大きなものに挑戦はしませんでした。
Well, I thought it would be impossible without while we are building it. I replied with a forced smile. Well, maybe he knew Champ was because he used to have built telescopes a long time ago.
そういう若さゆえの勇み足が功を奏する時もあります。なかなかいい望遠鏡だ。見せてもらってもいいですか？
Okay, sure, go ahead. So I brought over a ladder, and Morita-san chose a celestial body with the finder and looked into the eyepiece.
思ったより像も鮮明だ。光軸も綺麗に合わせてあるようですね。
Pretty good. So after last year's event, we had realigned the Pleaides 1 carefully. We made the focusing smoother and adjusted the movements of the, Atazimuth stance so that it was less erratic. So we had to use a laser coulometer to adjust the optical axis. So at least it's more accurate and precise using more advanced tools to calibrate Pleaides 1. And that was a tool for adjusting reflective telescopes that use a laser for a very precise adjustment. And using that together with a centering eyepiece had allowed us to make very minute adjustments to the image was much sharper than before. Or so. Wow.
綺麗に見えるもんじゃの。
So beautiful. Oman Champ climbed the ladder after Morita-san and spoke up excitedly. Well, that's thanks to your instructions. So I was finally able to have Champ see stars through Pleaides 1. And if you remember, he was the one who finished the big mirror. So it was sanded by the team, and he was the one that put a mirror coating and test to see that the curvature is correct. So Champ is getting on in years, so it had been difficult to invite him to stargazings.
アキニー、ちょっといい？吉岡先輩がテントが足りないって言ってるんだけど。
Okay, I'll be right there. Well, I'm sorry, I have to go, so please enjoy yourselves. Okay.
そうさせていただきます。
So it's been about an hour since the stargazing event has begun. And for the night's viewing, we focused on the planet Mars and other stars and constellations. They were well known by the people who are here. And the presence of Pleaides 1 is huge. Everyone felt it was special to view these colorful celestial bodies through the handmade telescope. And just when everything is peaceful... Okay, so might I have everyone's attention? And when I called out, the guests turned towards me. So the reason we are all here tonight is because we, the Six Stars Club, have something we wish to ask of you. So I'm hoping for a moment of your time to say a few words. And the crowd starts to murmur, but they are listening, at least. So I signal Hikari next to me with my eyes. Hikari looks or takes a step forward.
皆さん、はじめまして。天の中天文部部長のほうき星ひかりと言います。
So as Hikari introduces herself with a bow of her head, the crowd looks at her quizzically. So they don't know what is about to happen. Hikari winced slightly under their gaze, but regained her composure.
皆さん、双子座流星群のことはご存知でしょうか？
So the crowd started talking amongst themselves.
最近テレビでやっとるやつだろ？流れ星がたくさん降ってくるっていう。
そうです。流星群がどういうものかご説明しますと、簡単に言うと、一度にたくさんの流れ星が降ってくる現象で、毎年決まった時期に現れます。現れる方向も決まっていて、その方向にある星座の名前で呼ばれます。双子座流星群は双子座の方から降ってくるわけです。
So the Geminids' origin point is the Gemini constellation.
皆さんの中には2001年に出現した獅子座流星群を覚えていらっしゃる方もいるんじゃないでしょうか。
So when people heard the name of the Leonids, people started to talk about it. And many people were nodding, and I heard someone say, "Well, yeah, I heard about that." So it must have been quite the topic at the time. It was quite a while ago, but it really had brought meteor showers into the public eye.
その年、獅子座流星群は例年にない大量の流れ星を降らせました。それこそ雨のように、この夜空をひっきりなしに流星が流れていったのです。
So everyone looks up without thinking.
残念ながら私は見ることができませんでした。同じ規模の獅子座流星群を日本で見ようと思ったら、あと10年以上待たないといけません。
So the people listening to Hikari who looked up to see only a sky full of flickering stars lowered their gazes dejectedly.
ですが、
But still,
もしかするとあと半月も待たずに見られるかもしれません。雨のように降る流れ星が。
テレビで言っとったあれかい？
Hikari nods.
そうです。双子座大流星群です。
So everyone seems to gulp slightly.
今年は双子座流星群の当たり年で、
例年の倍以上の流星が夜空に降るって言われてます。
それってすごいのかい？
So the people that didn't get it were whispering to each other. So the Geminid meteor shower is counted among the top 3 meteor showers, and it is very active. So normally for around 1 hour on the prime day, about 100 meters will fall. And that it would be more than twice the normal year, so I think it's something to look forward to.
なるほど。
And when the Shopping Center Association president nodded, the people around him nodded in agreement.
ところで皆さん、ちょっと空を見てください。
So urged by Hikari, everyone craned their necks up. And there is the night sky, nothing unusual.
観望会を始めた頃より夜空が暗くなったと思いませんか？
暗くなった。
So the night sky is always dark. It seemed that no one had noticed the change.
見える星の数はどうでしょう？
星の数。そういえば少し減った気がするの。さっきまであの辺りにも星が見えておったのに。
So Omen Champ flushed and averted his eyes at Hikari's sudden laugh. So he was still a shy boy who wasn't good around young girls. Well, it's because of those magazines that he has Akito buy.
そう言われてみれば減った気がするな。あの明るい星の周りにもう少し小さな星があった気がする。
So, thanks to Old Man Champ, people gain confidence in their own intuition and begin to speak up.
どうして見えなくなったんだろう。
それは月が昇ってきたからです。
So the moon had risen at some point from the mountain ridge. And the moon had been hidden at the time the meetup started.
月の光が小さな星の光をかき消してしまったんです。
So when the moon rises, the number of stars drop. That's probably sounded strange to people not involved in astronomy. But now they are seeing it with their own eyes. And to get them to experience it themselves, earlier we had slyly pointed out the arrangement of the dimmer stars that would fade.
流星群の降るよ。もし今夜のように月が昇ってくればどうなってしまうでしょう。流星のほとんどは暗く小さな光です。きっと月光に飲まれて消えてしまうでしょうね。
Listening to Hikari, the people who were becoming interested in the meteor shower looks disappointed.
けれどご安心ください。双子座流星群が極大になる12月14日はちょうど新月で月はありません。
So everyone looks relieved at once. So the moon waves and the wanes. So the moon waxes and wanes over the course of a month, but on the night of the new moon, it completely disappears. A new moon on the prime day of a meteor shower is the absolute best situation for viewing.
ですが、夜空の星を隠してしまうものは月光だけじゃありません。光害という言葉をご存知じゃないですか？
So this was also probably something most people have heard of.
本来暗いはずの夜を人工の光で照らすことによって起こる様々な害のことを言います。地上の光も月光と同じく星を隠してしまうんです。
So it seems that Hikari's heartfelt words were having an effect on those listening. So everyone had fallen quiet, drawn in by her speech.
私は三日月村の出身です。小さい頃この辺りで過ごしました。
So Hikari looked up at the sky again.
仲のいい友達と3人でこの場所で毎晩のように星を数えていました。あの頃の夜空は今よりずっと明るかった。無数の星が雄大な夜空のスクリーンにひしめくように瞬いていて、星明かりが闇夜を照らしているようでした。一つ一つの星たちは小さな小さな光です。目が闇に慣れていなければ見えないような。でもそんな小さな光が無数に集まればこんなにも明るい夜空になる。子供心に不思議に感じ、私たちは星の世界に引き込まれていきました。
So Hikari just put her hand on her chest and closed her eyes. And just like she was calling the lost day from inside her.
けれど私が夜空を見上げるのを忘れているうちにいくつもの星が姿を消していました。地上に明かりが一つ灯ると夜空の星が一つ消えてしまうのです。注意深く観察していないとなくなっていることにも気がつかないような小さな光たち。でももし月が隠れるように地上の明かりが消えることがあればあの星たちは帰ってきます。今、そしてそんな夜がもしも実現すれば小さな流れ星もきっと見つけることができるでしょう。
Hold on, I went a little fast, so let's see.
でももし月が隠れるように地上の明かりが消えることがあればあの星たちは帰ってきます。今見上げているこの夜空に。
Okay?
見てみたいと思いませんか？大流星群の降る夜、無数の小さな光たちに彩られた星空を、あの頃のような明るい夜を。
So everyone looked up at the night sky, darker than before. And just like they were seeing the bright night Hikari saw when she was a child. No, they must have seen it as well. So most people simply didn't remember.
どうすればいいんだね。
So what should we do then? The Shopping Center Association president asks Hikari.
12月14日、双子座流星群が極大になるその夜、部屋の明かりを消してほしいんです。もし星の中の人たちみんなが明かりを消してくれたなら、きっとあの頃の星空を取り戻すことができます。
部屋の明かりを消すだけでいいのかい？看板や、なんだったら街路灯の明かりも間引くことができると思うよ。その日一日くらいなら。
本当ですか？
Well, if you could, we'd like everyone to tell as many people as they can. So your families, neighbors, and coworkers. And the reaction was better than expected, so I quickly added this.
皆さん、どうですかね？ひょっとするといい町おこしになるかもしれませんよ。
So the adults started talking about it. And what about the other people? So Korona, Honoka, and Toyoda.
これは想像以上ですね。
We didn't think that the adults would be so sympathetic, so we could not help getting excited. And then one man raised his hand. It was Morita-san, who come with the old man champ. So what's his objection?
質問よろしいでしょうか。
So what's the question that he has? And I'll leave this to the next episode. So we can finally see what Project Starlight is about. And it's that, well, the town is always bright even at night, and the bright lights make it hard for anybody to observe the night sky for constellations. And Hikari used the moon as an example. It's like, but on the day of the supposed event, it's going to be new moon, and I like it not only so the moon is not there, but also all of you to turn off your lights so that we can have a perfect black sky and see the stars and the meteor shower. And it looks like some of the people are okay with it because it's just going to be for one day. But I think there's some skepticism and some concerns from other people, like from Morita-san. So in the next episode, we're going to see what his question is, or his concern. And as a side note, it looks like the relationship between Sai and Hikari got worse in this episode. And I wonder how they're going to get back together again, because this is a pretty bad moment right now with Saya vowing not to see Hikari ever again, and them resorting to calling each other by their last names, showing that they're not really friends anymore and just strangers. So with that in mind, I'll see you in the next episode.